class, I mean to say the demo class, will try to help you out to understand what we are going to cover in the class, like what are the components that are being there, and what are the hands-on lab that we are going to do, and everything that we are going to help you out. So basically, to get started, so as you would have already received the details about it, saying that this course going to be on the Informatica Power Center developer, as well as a little bit of 40% of the admin activities are also being covered as part of this. Okay, so that's why we actually name this course as an Informatica Power Center developer come admin both. So both will be discussed as part of that, which will be there in terms of an architecture or how to configure the different things and everything. We are going to understand Power Center developer come admin course. So administrator. Basically, to understand the Informatica Power Center and developer course, the prerequisite for attending this course is, so which you have, prerequisite is an SQL, and you should understand the basic SQL, like you should know joins, how to use aggregate functions, what are the DML operations that you do, and all these things you must know before you start with a Power Center development course. So in case if you are not aware of SQL also, SQL will be provided as a complementary course as a self-paced learning curriculum. You can learn that. So in case if you're not sure about SQL and you want to get started with this course, we will also help you out with a self-paced curriculum, that is videos, where you'll help once you enroll for the Informatica Power Center course, we'll also help you out in giving the videos access, wherein you can also learn the SQL as a complementary course for this. And now what I'm going to do is I'll help you out to understand what is an ETL and what are the different ETL products that are available in the market, how Informatica Power Center stands out or different from other ETL tools, and what kind of opportunities that will be there for an Informatica Power Center, and all these things that we are going to learn. So assuming that everybody is from the very basic level of background, so I'll get started with a very basic level info. So which first 5 minutes, which might be boring because we'll understand what you might already know. So basically, to get started, in order to make yourself more comfortable in the Informatica Power Center course, you must have the database knowledge. So when you talk about the database, it's like we call them as a database management system in the technical terms. So as you know that database is something that which stores the data in the form of tables, and now I'm talking about the structured data, means like which will be stored in the form of an employee table and everything, or a department and all. So databases are very, we have various databases which are available in the market, something like Oracle is from Oracle Corporation. Similarly, the SQL Server is from the Microsoft, and we have DB2 is from IBM, and similarly the Sybase from SAP. Basically Sybase, and we also have the different other databases like Netezza, Teradata, so many other databases which are available in the market. All these databases stores the data in the structured format. When I say structured form, it will be just like your Excel. So if you open an Excel where you'll have a columns and rows, all these databases will store the data in the form of that. So basically, once you store the data in that, how do you start storing the data, or how do you start reading the data from the database? That can be done by using a language called as an SQL. SQL stands for a structured query language. So SQL helps you to read the data from database, and it helps you to add the data to the database, and it also helps you to perform any kind of operations on the database for storing the data and reading the data and everything. So now when we talk about the under the SQL, as I said, we have again a different types of SQL, which I'm not going in detail about it. So which is classified as a DML, data manipulation language, DDL, data definition language, DRL, data retrieval language, which helps you to read the data. And we also call it as a TCL, transaction control language. And it is also another language which we have is called as a DCL, that is called as a data control language, which it is there. So basically this is about the a structured query language which helps you to do that. So when you talk about this structured query language, this is like a common language for all the databases. So if I want to communicate with Oracle, I'll use SQL. If I want to communicate with a Teradata, I'll use SQL. If I want to communicate with SQL Server, I'll use a SQL. So SQL is like a universal language which helps you to communicate with a database. Let's say this is my database which I have. Basically, it's very big in the font, so let me just cut it down. Uh, so this is my database which I have. And similarly, when you talk about this, this is nothing but your SQL which helps you to do that. So any type of a database, what you have is uses the SQL for doing it. So now, why did I talk about the database is because you should understand what is a term database before we talk about the data warehousing concepts and the ETLs. So let's talk about the what do you mean by the data warehouse. So now I'm coming to the term like warehouse. So what do you mean by the warehouse? Warehouse is nothing but where we actually store some goods and everything, that's called as a warehouse. So here when you say a data warehouse, it's nothing but it's a product where we actually store the data, that's called as a data warehouse. So in the data warehouse we store the data. So for storing the data, again you need a database. So when I want to build a data warehouse for any customer, let's say I want to build a data warehouse for Amazon customer, where Amazon wants to understand how many products that they are selling, or how many products, what is the top 10 revenue products which they are selling, or what is the total revenue that they are generating from India. So all these kind of analysis which they want to do, for that reason they would like to create a data warehouse. So a data warehouse is nothing but the database which stores the data for analysis. It stores the data for analysis, that's called as a your data warehouse. So when I'm building a data warehouse for Amazon, let's say I'm a data warehousing architect, and I can choose Oracle as my data warehouse, or I can choose the SQL Server as my data warehouse, or I can choose Teradata as my data warehouse, or I can choose Netezza as my data warehouse, or a Sybase. Anything could be a data warehouse. What I'm trying to tell you here is data warehouse is nothing but the database. It's nothing but the database where you are storing the data for analysis purpose. So what kind of analysis that you are going to carry out and how you are going to do that, that we will understand in a detailed way. Now, in order to understand, so you know that data warehouse is something that which will store the data in the form of a tables only. So obviously in the database you'll have a data in the form of a tables. Now here we need to understand the term here. Basically, what do you mean by the how the data comes? See, you're saying that the in the data warehouse we are storing the data, but how the data is flowing into the data warehouse, who is inserting the data or who is adding the data to the data warehouse, that you need to understand. In order to understand about it, we need to know about the different terminologies that you need, which you can call it as a OLTP system, and another terminology that you need to know is a OLAP system. What do you mean by the OLTP? OLTP stands for a online transaction processing system. Online transaction processing system, that is called as your OLTP. And OLAP is called as an online analytical processing system. Online analytical processing system. So we'll talk about what do you mean by an OLTP, what kind of applications that you have in OLTP. So when you say that OLTP, all the transaction oriented applications, like what are the transaction oriented applications? So in case of Amazon, let's say when you talk about the same example, let's say Amazon.com, which they use for selling the products in US, that is called as an Amazon.com. It's a retail e-commerce company which we can call. So, or in the India, if you talk about, that's a flipkart.com or amazon.in which we use, or a snapdeal.com, all these e-commerce applications are called as a transaction applications. Why we call them as a transaction oriented applications is because when you talk about there will be a frequent transactions which will be happening on those systems. That's why we call. What do you mean by a transaction? A transaction is nothing but a order which you create. So it's nothing but a DML operation what you perform on the application is called as a transaction. So what do you mean by an order creation? Like as a customer, you go to the amazon.com, you search for a product, you buy the product, and then you place an order for it. When you're placing an order, it's nothing but it is in turn creating a record in your database table. So that's nothing but a transaction. So there will be a frequent transactions which will be happening. Likewise, we have a various examples. When you talk about ATM withdrawal, which helps you to withdraw the money from your ATM. So that is also one transaction oriented application. Or you can talk about the internet banking system where we transfer the funds from one account to another account. That is also transaction oriented application. Let's say when you go to the any retail mall, suppose let's say you walked into the Walmart center and you go and buy some products from it, and at the end a sales guy will actually generate a generate an invoice which all the products that you purchased. So the application which they are using to generate the invoices, the application which they are using to capture it, that is also called as a your transaction application. So it could be that SAP ERP, like which is used for maintaining all the operations and everything, or you can call it as an Oracle EBS is another ERP which is there. Likewise, we have various ERP system which helps you to manage the orders and all those things. So that is about the basically the different transactional application. Any application where you're actually a DML operations are happening, that's called as a transactional application, where all these applications are used for a daily operations. It is not used for analysis, it is used for a daily operations. Let's say I would like to understand daily operations in the sense, in order to provide the services to the customer, they're using this application, and it is not used for analysis in the sense I'm not generating any reports for out of this. It is not used for analysis which it is there. So this is about the OLTP system what we have. So when we talk about the OLAP system is nothing but the data warehouse. So which is used for analysis, that's called as a data warehouse. So now we will understand how the data is actually flowing into the data warehouse. Or so when you take a look at it, let's say you are building a data warehouse for Amazon. See what kind of business Amazon does. Basically they sell it's an e-commerce application. I mean, it will maintain the e-commerce things. Suppose let's say if you talk about an Amazon is not maintaining only one website for selling the products globally, right? So if they have to sell the products in India, they have to abide by the Indian government rules and Indian tax rules and everything, and that's why they are selling the products to amazon.in. And similarly, if you go to the US, actually they sell the products through the different application altogether, that is called as an amazon.com. So amazon.com is especially for when you go and buy, they charge you in dollars, so not in rupees or whatever. So similarly, if you go for Amazon, let's say Europe, it will have Amazon Europe, and maybe they'll take the euros from you or from the pounds from you. So this is like they have a various applications for just to provide their operations to the different customers, right? See, when they are actually building all these applications, it's not necessary that every application will use the same ERP system for selling the operations. Like let's say in India, maybe based on the huge amount of customers, they might go with a mainframe system which helps them to process all the orders and everything. Okay, when you say mainframes, a backend engine which stores the data for mainframes is a DB2 system. And when you go for amazon.com, let's say thinking the intensity of the or amount of customers which they have. Let's say they went ahead with the SAP ERP system, which helps them to manage the orders and everything. So the backend could be an Oracle, or backend could be an this one. So let's say you have a Amazon.eu where you have a data which is available in the SQL server or something. So this is basically your data is being distributed across the heterogeneous applications. When I say heterogeneous applications, it's basically different databases and different applications where my data is spread across. Now I would like to integrate all these data into a single centralized database, which helps you to analyze the data, or which helps you to generate the reports. I want to do that. So what I'll do is, these are the transactional application. When you talk about transactions, every day one or the other customer, whether it is an old customer or a new customer, they will actually visit your website and they will purchase the goods. I mean, they will purchase the products which are there. So when you say that purchasing a product or canceling the order, creating the order, or modifying the order with the new products or all those things, that is nothing but a transaction. So there will be a frequent transactions which will be happening on this one. So when you talk about the frequent transactions which are happening, now I want to know all the details, like how the data will be integrated. So the process of integrating this data into a centralized database. So data warehouse is nothing but the data warehouse, I mean database. So centralized database, which it is called as a Teradata. Let's say Teradata is being used as my data warehouse, and I'm integrating the data from all these transactional systems into the data warehouse. So that's why we call this as an ETL. I mean, we call this process as an ETL. So when you talk about an ETL, ETL stands for extraction of data, and ETL stands for a transformation of data, and load. So which you call extraction, transformation, and load. So when you talk about what do you mean by the extraction? Extraction is nothing but the reading of the data. So whatever the databases that you have, or whatever the details that you have, you'll go and read the data from it, and you'll transform the data. What do you mean by transformation? Transformation is like modifying the data from one form to the other form. So, or changing the data from one form to the other form, that is called as a modification. And L stands for a load. Basically loading is nothing but the inserting of the data into this. So to perform these ETL operations, or extraction, transformation, and load, we have a various ETL tools which are available in the market. So when you talk about the various ETL tools, we have Informatica powercenter. One is a one ETL tool which we have, and we talk about the data stage from IBM, which is another ETL tool. You have Ab initio is another ETL tool which we have. Similarly, you have SAP BODS, Business Objects Data Services. That is also another ETL tool. And you have open source tools like Pentaho, Talend, and all. These are the open source ETL tools which we have. So likewise, there are more than 100 ETL tools which are available in the market, if you see. So among all these, when you talk about the market share, Informatica Power Center is a leader in the ETL industry. So they have, suppose let's say they have close to 40% of the ETL market which is being used. All these ETL tools, when you talk about, these ETL tools are used in the data warehousing projects as well as data integration projects. When you say that data warehousing, so ETL are used to build the data warehouse, data warehousing projects, and it is also used in data integration projects. So that's why we also call the ETL tools as a data integration tools. What do you mean by the data integration? It's nothing but you are integrating the data from all these applications into a centralized data warehouse. From multiple applications, you're integrating into a single application. That's called as a data integration. So it can be, most of the cases in the data warehouse, ETL tools are used in 75% of the projects. And other 25% project in the ETL industry, you see the data integration projects. So these are the share which you have. So when I say a data integration project, let me take an example here. So when you talk about this, let's say there is a scenario that wherein a customer is actually using an Oracle EBS. Okay, so Oracle EBS is ERP, and Oracle EBS ERP is not giving them the full-fledged way to carry out their operations. Now, after some days, the customer is actually decided to move on to the another ERP, that is, let's say, an Oracle POS. Oracle POS is another ERP which they would like to go on, purchase ordering system or Oracle retail system. So if the customer is actually moving from one type of application to the other type of application, you basically have to integrate all the data what is available in EBS to the POS system. Let's say here you might have the old orders, old customers, employees data, everything has to be integrated into the new system. So here I need a tool to migrate the data from this database to this database. This type of projects are called as a data integration projects. When you talk one platform to the other platform, anything, it could be like if I want to move from Oracle EBS to the SAP ERP or anything like that, those kind of a projects we call it as a data integration projects. Or let's say you're receiving a data in the form of a flat files and I want to load the data into some other thing, so that is also called as a data integration projects, which is, so it is still an OLTP system. It is still an OLTP system, which is an Oracle purchase ordering system, but I'm still using a ETL tool to move the data from this. So this is called as a data integration project what we have. See now, yeah, I'll come back to your question. Okay. So basically, when we talk about the ETL, completely we understand now how the data is actually flowing into the data warehouse. So we integrated the data because this is a transactional data. We integrated all the transactional data and stored this information into the data warehouse, basically in the form of dimension tables and the fact tables. Dimension tables and the facts. Now we have integrated the data into the data warehouse. What is the use of that? What is the need? Why should I do that? And what is the need of that? So basically the data in the data warehouse is actually used for analysis. What do you mean by analysis? Analysis is nothing but a which helps you to generate the reports from the data warehouse. Now I would like to analyze the data with respect to by using BI tools. So what I will do is I'll basically I'll I'll use a BI tools to perform my operation. So what I do is I'll use a BI tools which will read the data from my data warehouse and represent the data in the form of reports for me. So which will represent the data in the form of a reports. So it could be a bar graph, or it could be a pie chart, or it could be any line graph or anything. So report could be generated in any format. So when you say bar graph, pie chart and all, so if you go general in the PowerPoint presentation, right? So when you go to the insert this, so these are the different type of charts that you can generate in the reports. So it's nothing but the visualization of your data which will help the business user to understand easily when you represent the data. So these are called as a different, these are the different pie charts you have, different bar graphs if you have, and different area charts, and everything can be defined from this. So the tools which helps you to generate the reports are called as a BI. So BI stands for a business intelligence. This business intelligence tools will read the data from your data warehouse and show to the business users to analyze the data. So when you talk about the BI tools again, so there are so many BI tools which are available in the market. So some among them which we have in the general layman terms, we call them as a reporting tools. So OBIE is a Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, and you have BO Business Objects, which is nothing but an SAP, and you have a Tableau is another BI tool which you have, and you have also the different tools like a Cognos. This is another ETL tool which we have, and these are the so many other different ETL tools. I mean, so many other BI tools what we have. Cognos, Tableau, ClickView, and different other things. Yeah, Hyper-NS base and everything is there. These are all different BI tools which are available in the market, and more than 200 tools will be available. And again, different open source tools, including you'll find so many things which are available in the market. All these tools will help you to generate the reports from the data warehouse. So when you talk about the complete data warehousing package, it's nothing but it's a combination of two modules. When you talk about the DWBI, so it's a combination of two things. One is a data warehousing, that is nothing but an ETL, and another is nothing but a BI. So together ETL plus BI is referred as a DWBI, that is data warehousing and business intelligence what we have. So when you talk about this course is mainly focused on the Informatica Power Center development, like how Informatica is used in the data integration projects, how Informatica is used in the data warehousing projects, that we are going to understand. So this course is mainly concentrated on the Informatica Power Center development activities, as well as an Informatica Power Center admin activities, which we are going to mainly concentrate on. So when we talk about the different products from Informatica, so most of the people will get confused. Informatica means Informatica Power Center. It's not the case. So from Informatica, we have a lot of different other products as well from an Informatica company. So if you see, they have a products like one is a Informatica Power Center, that is we know, which we use it as a ETL tool. And we have another product called as an Informatica Data Quality, that is your this one, which is used for a data profiling, data standardization, and data enhancement. And there is another one called as an Informatica MDM, which is helps you to create the master data from the different ERP systems. That's called as an MDM we call. And we also have something called as an Informatica Power Exchange. Power Exchange is something that more like an ETL tool, but it's just a plugin which helps you to read the data from real-time applications like SAP, mainframes and all by using this. And we also have something like a Informatica B2B, business to business exchange, and these are all the different tools which we have. There are other so many tools which are there. Main popular tools are these four, and they have another one browser based tool. One is called as an Informatica Analyst, and they'll also provide the all these tools are available in the form of a cloud software as well. It will be available, and it is also available for an on-premise application. So these are the different products, but in this course it is very clear that we are going to concentrate only on the power center activities. We are not going to touch the other tools like data quality, master data management, and the power exchange when we talk about. So but we will understand the high level overview of all these products. Okay, so this is pretty much about the what we are going to cover, and I'm going to show you what business use cases that we are going to cover and everything. So before stepping into that, I would like to understand if you have any questions related to that. So far whatever we have discussed, I would like to understand what any confusion, or would like to add anything, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. And
How different are these two tools? Informatica, like as you told, this Informatica Analyst is the browser-based tool. So like it is more convenient to use this tool as compared to Informatica, right? You can work on the internet actually.
see, Informatica Analyst tool is actually a browser-based tool, but it is targeted only for data stewards and data scientists, basically to analyze what kind of data that they have in the OLTP system. It is used for a data profiling. So you need to understand this term. What do you mean by the data profiling? So why this is called as a browser-based tool? Because your business users cannot and all, they cannot install the software and then do it. That is the reason they can just access through the browser or something. So that is the reason it is made as a browser-based tool, which we call them as a thin clients. Thin clients in the sense you don't need to install anything, just log in and then work with it. That's called as a thin clients. All right. So any other questions from this? See, some of you are on actually on the mute. In case if you have any questions related to the course, or I mean, so far what we discussed, you can go ahead. Else, I'll give you the details about what we are going to cover as part of the course. So you can also make use of the chat window. I think the chat window is enabled for you. You can even ping me here if you have any questions uh, related to that. Okay. So if you're good with this, so let me just talk about this term. What do you mean by data integration? Okay. See, Oracle EBS and Oracle POS, both are the OLTP system only. But I'm using an ERP system for this, which is for maintaining the orders and everything. Now I've decided that Oracle EBS is not suiting for my operations. I wanted to move on to it. So this application I've been using from years. Let's say I have a last 5 years transaction data, which it is there in my Oracle EBS. So if I start using all those all those orders and everything from here, the old data will not be there, right? So I have to move that old transactional data into my new transactional system. So that is the reason we need a data integration projects kind of a thing. Let's say you are moving a data from an Oracle database to SQL Server database, or Oracle to the Teradata system and all. So this is a data integration project. How we can use Informatica data quality? So that's a question here. So the Informatica data quality is used for a data profiling and data enrichment. Data profiling and data enrichment, or it is also used for address validation. I'll take a simple example and I'll tell you what the Informatica data quality is being used for. Okay. So when you talk about, let's say, when I say the address validation, suppose, let's say, you have the customer. Okay, let me just give you the practical use case of the Informatica data quality. Suppose, let's say, you are a online, or let's say there is a retail company, so which they would like to send the letters to all their customers based on the addresses which are available. They would like to send the addresses with a discount and the coupons, uh, discount coupons to everybody. So the company has around some, let's say company has some around 3 million customers, and out of 3 million customers they found that 2 million customers are having a proper data, another 1 million customers doesn't have a proper address information. So basically, if they decided to spend $1 for each customer to send the coupons, they are basically spending the $3 million. So if they send all these discount coupons, it is sure that it will reach only to the 2 million people. Another 1 million people it will not reach because of the wrong address. Now they would like to standardize that address based on the street and everything. So when you talk about the data quality address validation, it is actually integrated with the US postal system. If you just give the street name, it can identify the pin code, what is the details about it, and which street, which cross, and everything. It can easily determine and then give you the proper address of it. So if you give this 1 million customer address data which is not proper, using the Informatica data quality, you can standardize and made that as a quality address. So that way, suppose somebody would be given as let's say Texas pin code is, let's say, 41205. Somebody has given us 50216. So which is a wrong pin code, definitely it will not be delivered. So it will be address validation. How what it does is it will identify that this is a wrong address. It will go and fetch the correct address from the US postal system and it will update the address for you. So that is you are actually validating the address and you are enriching the address data what it is being available. So that is one example where a data quality will help you to enrich your data in terms of whatever the address that you do. So is there a separate course for a data quality? Yes, we do provide the separate course for a data quality, that is your Informatica data quality. So if you'd like to go into the um, experiences where you need an Informatica Power Center as a data quality. So yes, you need to learn the data quality as a separate course. So which will give a definite value to you. So the combination of power center and data quality is always a trending one. So you can go for a power center, an MDM, or Informatica power center, and the data quality will always have fetch the large number of results for you. I mean, in terms of jobs and everything. So it is very high in demand in the market, whether in India or in US. So we have very less people which are available in the combination of power center and data quality. But data quality alone, I can't go and start learning it, because for learning the data quality, you need a power center knowledge. So if you have both power center and data quality, the fetching a job is very, very easy compared to the other. I mean, being only the power center, and power center and data quality will give you a better mileage compared to that. So it's a separate course. I think we'll be having a batches which will be starting all the time. So you can get in touch with the people. They'll help you out to start how to go about it. So next one, let's say I want to show you the other thing about what that we are going to cover as part of this course. So because I want you to understand and compare the contents what we are covering here with other institutes what they are offering. So let's say if some other company is offering you the, I mean, contents what we are covering. So as I said, the I need to give you a few more details about the duration and all. So the duration is actually goes for a 35 to 40 hours. So which among this, it's mostly that we'll spend 35 hours of a lecture, plus you need to spend the 45 hours of a practical assignment. So this is, so when I say total duration, in fact, this course, 35 to 40 hours, we say only the lecture what we are going to deliver in the class. And along with this, you need to also spend the 45 hours of hands-on, which is there, that this would be provided. And when it comes to the installation and everything, yes, we do install the Informatica on your machine. And at the same time, so as I said, like we will provide you the Windows based VM, which will contain the Informatica Power Center latest version, that is your 961. And then you'll have an Oracle 11G database in this, and you'll also have an SQL developer which will be installed for practicing the basic PLSQL programs and all. And the next one is about, you also have the installation, and also other access that we provide as part of this is a Unix server access. It's basically, we will provide you the Informatica Power Center Unix server access, because when you go to the real time, all the Informatica servers are installed in the Unix, not in the Windows. So in order to get the flavor of Unix, how it can be used and everything, so we will also provide you the Informatica Power Center Unix server access till the end of the course. Mostly it will be almost for 2 months. It will be there for 60 days. Access will be provided, and this is like a 24/7 access. Anytime you can access the server and practice at your convenient time. So initial days during the course, you'll be using a Informatica Power Center Unix server access. Later on, you can start using the Windows based VM. So the everything is the same except this is a Windows environment and this is a Unix environment. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. And when we talk about the contents that are going to be covered, so we'll first talk about the in-depth understanding of data warehousing concepts and the architectures of the data warehouse. And then we will talk about the data modeling, and we'll talk about how to design the dimension tables, fact tables, what is a slowly changing dimension, and everything we'll discuss. And we'll also talk about the power center. Basically what is an ETL, different ETL tools are there, what are the different Informatica products that we have, and we'll completely understand about the power center architecture, domain, what is mean by a domain and node, and we'll understand about all the power center client tools which we have. And we will see the Informatica administrator homepage, which helps you to create the repository service and integration service. And we will also talk about the Informatica developer client, what it is being used for. So this is all about the we'll also see some types of admin activities, like how to create the user in Informatica, how to access or give the roles and groups. Everything will be discussed. Along with this, we will also talk about the ETL project lifecycle, how a generally ETL project starts, and what are the documents that you have to prepare, what are the artifacts that you have to prepare, and all those things we will discuss here. And see, most of the people will come to us and asking whether will you be helping us to do the project after the course. See, project itself is integrated in the curriculum. So we are saying that by the end of this course, you're going to implement a retail data mart project wherein you'll integrate the data by using an ETL tools, and you integrate the data into your complete ETL life cycle will be discussed as part of the project. So this complete case study will be discussed as part of a project. By, like, we'll take one business use case, like one client will take, and their case study we are going to implement as part of the training. And when it comes to the what are the things that you're going to learn as part of this course, we have listed down around 45 business use cases which helps you to understand. So what are the skills that are going to be covered as part of this at the high level as part of this course? So basically you're going to understand, by the end of this course you'll understand all the data warehousing concepts. You'll understand what is a data modeling and the types of data modeling, and we'll understand about the Informatica architecture. So in a full-fledged way, Informatica 961, how it works. And we will also talk about the basic PLSQL, like how to write the basic PLSQL procedures, and what is a dynamic SQL, how to create a dynamic SQL in the PLSQL, and all that we'll understand. We'll also talk about the basic Unix commands and the shell script, which is being also discussed as part of this course. So these are the things that you're going to understand from it. So we'll understand each and everything, and along with this we will also see the basic Unix commands, how to schedule the workflows, and shell scripts. All these things are also being included as part of it, so which is essential. And you'll also understand about the reading the data from an XMLs, as well as how to do the unit testing, how what are the advanced concepts like a parallel processing, push down optimization, how to migrate the code from one environment to other environment. All these things will be discussed as part of the curriculum. So uh, these are the things which we have is going to be discussed. So as I said, like, we will discuss close to 35 to 40 complete business real-time use cases which we are going to discuss as part of the training here. So this is the overall um, details about the Informatica Power Center curriculum, which we are going to discuss as part of this. So I hope you can get in touch with a marketing team here. So they'll also provide you the syllabus, what we are going to cover. And in fact, you can even compare this syllabus with anybody else who is actually providing an Informatica training. So we can confidently say that we are better than anybody who is offering the training in the Informatica Power Center. Okay, so this is more when it comes to the Informatica jobs and everything, right? The number of people who are available in the market is more, and the amount of jobs are also available are also more. So basically, if you say that when you compare the ETL tools, basically the data stage, ab initio, any ETL tool, so hardly if you find one or two jobs in a month for a data stage and ab initio, but for Power Center you'll have 10 jobs. But for a 10 jobs, there will be a people or available in the market, in the sense like you might find 20 members for a 10 jobs. So that's something like that. So the number of people are available, but the number of quality people are not available. So basically everybody learn the Power Center, but most of the people are lagging in the so many things like a Unix skills and the basic PLSQL skills, or they know Informatica, they don't know the SQL properly. So all these kind of things. So if you align yourself with all these skills, definitely you can break the job. So we can confidently say that by the end of this training, anybody can walk in out of this training as a Power Center developer with a 3 years experience. If the people practices all the inputs what we are giving, and each and every item that what we are going to give, you can confidently walk in as an Informatica Power Center developer with a 3 years experience. So that much amount of stuff that we are going to teach in these 40 hours, which includes the 40 hours of hands-on. And along with this, we will provide you the hands-on guides as well as the interview preparation guides. We will help you out with the project uh, explanation, how it needs to be done and everything. So if you talk about the soft copies of all the hands-on lab guides will be provided to you, each and everything will be there. So is a PL SQL part of that? Yes, that's what I'm saying. We'll teach you the basic PL SQL which is required, and all the related stuff is also already being included in the project. I mean, included in the curriculum. 5 minutes of time.